The NBA Most Valuable Player discussion will always provide heated debates year after year. The very best player every season will always be included with their impact and dominance. Over the last 20 years, we have to look into every factor in terms of individual impact, high stats, and team success to strengthen the argument. Most years, the media usually gets it right, but once every couple years, the race will be extremely close. Some winners in the past have shocked us all. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Today, I'm gonna rank every MVP season since 2000 from worst to best. Number 20, Steve Nash, 2004-2005. The most shocking MVP in the 21st century. Nobody would have predicted the 30-year-old would even be a candidate before the season. Averaged 15.5 points, 11.5 assists, 50% shooting. In the mid-2000s, the NBA had a reputation, super low scoring during that era, combined with the Pacer-Piston brawl. Trying to shed that reputation, Phoenix's style of play attracted many fans, obsessed with high-tempo scoring and three-point shooting. Mike D'Antoni deserves as much credit for helping the Suns elevate for their style of play. Phoenix went from a 29-win team to 62 wins. Nash was not even considered a top 5 point guard before the season. Had the perfect teammates around him, great chemistry. Amari became a superstar, doesn't get enough credit for averaging 26 and 9, worthy MVP numbers as well. Marion over 19 and 11, a force on defense. 23-year-old Johnson, a future all-star, 17 points, while Dallas became better without Nash, adding Jason Terry and drawing big money at Eric Dampier, won 58 games, 6 better than the previous season with Nash. One of the closest race all time, Shaq's Heat won 59 games, averaged 23 and 10. The Lakers missed the playoffs without the Big Diesel, which was why I strongly believe O'Neal should have gotten it. Bill Simmons even said Mike Bibby and Jason Kidd would be just as successful with Amari, Sean Marion, and Joe Johnson. If there was a pickup game, Nash wouldn't be his top 5 choice. Number 19, Steve Nash again, 2005-2006. One of the most baffling all-time MVP debates still continues to get talked about. Many believe Kobe Bryant should have won the award. Amari was hurt, only played 3 games. Nash stepped up by averaging 18.8 points, 4 rebounds, 10.5 assists, not the best numbers. While LeBron's 50-win Cavs team, Nowitzki's 60-win Mavs, Kobe's 45-win scrub Lakers all have better numbers and are better players than Nash. Essentially a 4-man race. Even Chauncey Billups earned over 400 points. Wasn't as flashy, but Detroit won a league best 64 games, has an argument as well. The Suns won 54, playing small ball. Although he did elevate his teammates, Sean Marion led the team in every major statistical category besides assists, 22 points, 12 rebounds, 2 steals, almost 2 blocks. You can argue he was just as valuable with his production. While most improved player Boris Diaw averaged 13, 7, and 6, still easily the most controversial MVP season over the last 20 years. Number 18, Stephen Curry, 2014-15. Just like Nash, Steph took the league by surprise after Steve Kerr took over for Mark Jackson. Golden State a plus 2,800 to win the title before the season. After 51 wins, Steph put up okay numbers, under 24 points, 4 rebounds, 7.7 assists, 2 steals, 49% shooting. But Klay Thompson almost 22 points, way more impactful on defense. Draymond Green improved, being inserted into the lineup. Iguodala great value off the bench. Curry actually had better scoring and assist numbers the season before, but only finished 6th for MVP. But because Kevin Durant only played 27 games, LeBron's Cavs struggled the beginning of the season, coming back to Cleveland. James Harden was the only other legit candidate, had better numbers of 27.5 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists for a 56-win team. Golden State with the silent bigs of Green and Bogut. Kerr made Curry more effective and efficient, scoring without the ball. Number 17, Russell Westbrook, 2016-17. Despite his insane averages of 31.6 points, over 10 and 10, becoming the first player since Oscar Robertson to average a triple-double for an entire season. The first year without Kevin Durant, OKC finished 6th in the West, 47 wins, the same amount of wins in an 82-game season since MVP Moses Malone's Rockets in 1979, the lowest seed for an MVP since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's Lakers in 76, who didn't even make the playoffs. If Russ averaged 11.5 rebounds but under 10 assists, no triple-double, most of those votes would have shifted towards James Harden, whose Rockets won 55 games. Many times, center Steven Adams let his his point guard grabbed the rebound to pad his stats, Westbrook didn't even close out his opponents at times, stay in the paint, not taking anything away from his greatness, but Russ was given the green light to do whatever he wanted, needed the ball in his hands at all times, plus Durant joining the Warriors, canceling himself out of the MVP contention, LeBron's Cavs coasted, Westbrook, Harden, and Kawhi Leonard were the only legit candidates. Number 16, Derrick Rose, 2010-2011, the best player on the best regular season team, 62 wins, the surprise story of 2011, the 22-year-old became the youngest player to ever win the award. His averages of 25 points, 4 rebounds, 7.7 assists were decent, but his advanced stats weren't great. Statistically, LeBron and Dwight Howard posted better numbers, but Miami underachieved and the Magic won fewer games than previous years. No one else had a breakout season that was out of nowhere. A 21-win increase under Coach Tibbs. Rose absolutely deserved the award. With the injuries to Joakim Noah and Carlos Boozer missing 57 combined games, nobody predicted how good the young superstar would become this fast. With little expectations, Rose exceeded at all levels. Sadly, his injuries robbed him of becoming an all-time great. Number 15, Dirk Nowitzki, 2006-2007, one of the most embarrassing season endings for any MVP, getting bounced in the first round as the 1 seed, averaged 24.6 points, 9 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 50% shooting on a 67-win team. The 7-footer had better statistical seasons in the past. In a year where him and Nash were the only 2 legit candidates, the Suns won 61 games, Nash's best individual year. Kobe was the best player in the league, but his Lakers only won 42 games. LeBron's 07 regular season wasn't as good as 06. Although Dirk made history, becoming the first European-born player to win the award, the only 50-40-90 season by a 7-footer, his 06 season had a higher PER. All-Star prime Josh Howard averaged 19 a game, a very good player. Jason Terry 17 points, Jerry Stackhouse and Devin Harris, solid players coached by Avery Johnson, the perfect role players to build around Dirk. Admitted one of his worst career moments, receiving the award after being eliminated, getting it delivered at home since the MVPs were announced during the semis. Dirk almost didn't want the award after a disastrous playoff performance. Number 14, Allen Iverson, 2000-2001, carried one of the worst rosters to the finals, led his Sixers to 56 wins, number 1 in the East, averaged over 31 points, 2.5 steals. Those analytic nerds will try to argue Iverson was inefficient with his low percentages, but given the roster he had, AI simply needed to score and take over for his team. A perfect system under head coach Larry Brown. Everybody else was known for defense. After trading for Dikembe Mutombo, AI was the only player to average over 12 points for his team. Take him away, none of his teammates were capable of averaging 15 as the main option. There was no number 2 on offense. The defense knew they had to pay attention to Iverson. The Sixers managed to create the entire offense to build around AI, even when he didn't have the ball in his hands, doing an impressive a job as anyone. His heart can never be underestimated. Number 13, Kobe Bryant, 2007-2008. Before the season, many didn't give the Lakers any hope with the lack of supporting cast and the trade demands. It wasn't Kobe's best statistical season by any means, but he was the best player in the game. The lone all-star for purple and gold, combined with making first team all-defense, being the 7th seed the previous 2 seasons, his team wasn't stacked by any means. 2 big difference makers, 20-year-old Andrew Bynum much improved and a reliable post presence first half of the season until his injury, way better than Kwame Brown. Derek Fisher, an average point guard, a significant upgrade from Smush Parker. Pau Gasol added in February, only played 27 games for LA. MVP runner-up Chris Paul had a healthy team the entire season. Before Pau, the Lakers were still the number 1 seed in the West, something nobody thought it was possible. Number 12, LeBron James, 2011-2012, a shortened 66-game season. Miami was the favorites to win it all. James, the clear-cut best player in the league. Superstar teammate Dwayne Wade took a step back to let James run the offense. His overall body of work combined with insane athleticism made him a force every night. Miami finished 46-20 overall, 4 games behind the Bulls and Spurs, a game short of OKC in pursuit of chasing his first championship. His postseason even more spectacular, averaged 30-10-6, refused to let his team lose. If the Heat had a better winning percentage, I would have ranked James's 2012 season a little higher. Number 11, 2002-2003 Tim Duncan, 23.3 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, 51% shooting, being the lone all-star for San Antonio, tied the league best, 60 wins. David Robinson's final season at 37, Tony Parker year 2, only 20 years old, a promising second-year point guard, average over 15 a game. Solid Steven Jackson and Manu Ginobili, defensive second team Bruce Bowen. Given the fact San Antonio was a plus 1100 in the preseason title odds, The 6'11" power forward's consistency night in and night out with an unstoppable postgame and a 15-foot banker, his signature move. Defensively, he was always amongst the best. His quiet personality sometimes makes others forget about his greatness. Duncan's postseason performance was even more impressive. Number 10, James Harden 2017-18, finished second in 2015 and 17, finally got his wish after adding Chris Paul. The Rockets went 59-13 in the 72 games the Beard played, led the league in scoring, 30.4 points, almost 9 assists, the best offense in the NBA. D'Antoni's Rockets became the first team to attempt more threes than twos for the entire season, being on the best regular season team, 10 more wins from the year before. There was no doubt Harden was going to win MVP. Since LeBron fans tried to make an argument, Cleveland was bad defensively as a team, 50 wins in the weaker East. Houston finished 7 games ahead of Golden State. The other candidates, Anthony Davis and Damian Lillard, on weaker teams, given the Bears' insane offensive clinic, from crossing over Wesley Johnson to knocking down insane step-back threes, there's no doubt he earned the award. Number 9, Giannis Antetokounmpo 2018-19. The Greek Freak absolutely deserved the award over Harden, since the Bucks were amazing from start to finish, a 12-game improvement, 60 wins, average almost 28 points, 12.5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.5 blocks, 58% shooting. Since the 2020 season will resume late July, Giannis will surely win back-to-back, being even better. The Greek Freak finished second for Defensive Player of the Year, dominated on both ends and efficient around the rim, couldn't be stopped, punished guys in the paint. Nobody thought the Bucks would be this good with improved ball handling and strength. The second best player, Chris Middleton, other role players, Eric Bledsoe, Malcolm Brogdon, and Brook Lopez. Harden's Rockets won 6 fewer games than Milwaukee, despite averaging 36. He also deserved part of the blame for Houston's early struggles. The Bucks were the best regular season team every month. Giannis went from all-star to superstar. Number 8, Tim Duncan 2001-2002, his best scoring season, 25.5 points, almost 13 rebounds, nearly 4 assists, 2.5 blocks, 58 wins. Despite falling in the semis to the superior Lakers, Duncan's supporting cast wasn't great, even worse than 2003. 36-year-old David Robinson, still the second best player on the team, averaged 12.2 points, the second leading scorer on San Antonio. The team had to heavily rely on defense and slow-paced tempo. Rookie Tony Parker, the starting point guard, averaged 9 points. Ginobili wasn't in the NBA yet. 32-year-old Steve Smith, third leading scorer, one of the worst Spurs rosters Duncan ever had, and still almost led them to 60 wins. He was also in the conversation for being the best player in the league. Number 7, LeBron James 2009-2010, led Cleveland to 61 wins, averaged almost 30 points, 7.5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 50% from the field. The regular season king, 21-year-old Kevin Durant, finished second on a 50-win Thunder team. Kobe missed 9 games with injury. In my opinion, James should have been unanimous this season, earning 116 of the 123 first place votes. Played with a 38-year-old Shaq, Mo Williams, the second best player on the team, 33-year-old Antoine Jamison, Anthony Parker, and Delonte West. James carried the heavy load each and every night, barely had a night off. His athletic prime. James, however, underperformed in the postseason, falling to the Celtics in the semis. Number 6, Kevin Garnett 2003-2004, led his Wolves to a franchise best 58 wins, averaged 24-14, 5 assists, 1.5 steals, over 2 blocks, 50% shooting, played all 82 games, scored the most points in the league that season. In a defensive slow-pace era, finally got some help in 34-year-old Sam Cassell. 33-year-old Latrell Sprewell led his team to the number 1 seed in the loaded West, which included Shaq and Kobe's Lakers, Duncan Spurs, Sacramento, and Dallas. KG's advanced numbers were also the best. The first original point forward the game has ever seen, was just as excellent on both ends, guarded 1-5, brought up the ball at times, an excellent pick and roll defender, and money from mid-range. A complete all-around season with no holes in his game, brought the intensity each and every night, never brought anything less. Garnett should have also won the award unanimously. Number 5, LeBron James 2008-2009. His first MVP, it was only a matter of time. What separated James from 09 to 08 was his significant improvement on defense. The 24-year-old averaged 28.4 points, over 7 rebounds, over 7 assists, 1.7 steals, 49% shooting, increased his team win total by 21, a league best 66 wins, took care of business against all the bad teams. The best regular season in Cavs franchise history, with his second best player, Mo Williams. LBJ dominated and always took care of business, accounted for for 7 of the 30 triple-doubles that season. His advanced numbers were also insane. His team wasn't stacked but had great chemistry. Everyone believed this was the year for a Kobe vs. LeBron final showdown, but in reality, LeBron's team wasn't good enough and got exposed by the Orlando Magic. Although many make an argument for Dwayne Wade for MVP, who posted similar numbers, James's team won way more games. No comparison in my book. Number 4, Kevin Durant 2013-14. One of the most underrated MVP seasons all time. Westbrook missed 35 games, so the 25-year-old went on a tear, averaged 32 points, 7.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, shot over 50%, and nearly won 60 games in the tough West. Serge Ibaka, the second option when Russ was out. The 6'10 forward was unstoppable, scored the ball in every way imaginable, the highest true shooting percentage for anybody to average at least 32 points all time, a much improved playmaker, showing he's not only just a scorer. In an era where LeBron was at his peak, it was almost impossible to think anybody else but James would win the award. There hasn't been a player in the 2010s decade who could score the ball as effortlessly as KD. Number 3, Shaquille O'Neal 1999-2000. The most unstoppable force over the last 40 years, by far his best season, number 1 in points, almost 30 a game, 14 rebounds, second on that list, 3 block shots, third in the NBA, number 1 in field goal percentage and PER. The first year Phil Jackson took over, the Big Diesel was at the height of his powers. The whole season, Shaq absolutely destroyed, abused, annihilated, humiliated, ragdolled, and bullied all his opponents, made them look like they were amateurs. With his size and presence, it was an absolute travesty. Shaq wasn't unanimous, still angry about it to this day, led his Lakers to 67 wins, only missed 3 games. Every second backup center in the league made decent money, only to foul Shaq and put a body on him. None of that mattered. O'Neal was the perfect definition of physical dominance, went on to average 38 in the 2000 finals. Number 2, LeBron James 2012-2013. At the peak of his powers, Miami won a league best 66 games. The 28-year-old had the complete package, averaged 27, 8 and 7, shot over 56% from the field, 40% from 3, unstoppable, a vote short of being unanimous. James also finished second for Defensive Player of the Year, arguably the best help defender that season, guarded 1-5. Miami went on an incredible 27-game winning streak to lock up the number 1 seed. It was almost impossible for LeBron to lose at the latter part of the regular season. A 32 player efficiency rating, averaged close to 30 points on an insane 64% shooting the month of February, able to knock off San Antonio in the finals with the help of his teammates. 2013 LeBron was surely his best year, nothing short of sensational. Number 1, 2015-16 Stephen Curry, a historic season, way better than his 2015 campaign. Curry had one of the best offensive and efficient seasons we ever seen. 30 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, almost 7 assists, over 2 steals, shot over 50% from the field as a guard. Team chemistry at an all-time high. Everyone in Golden State knew their role. The franchise started off a league best, going 24-0. Some nights, Curry simply wouldn't miss and pull up from 40 feet like it's a foul shot. The half-court game-winning bang bang jumper over OKC solidified his unanimous MVP season, shadowed the 3-point record, connecting on 402. Despite falling short in the finals, Curry hobbled his way back after hurting himself in the Houston series. Nonetheless, his shooting display put the whole world on notice, changing the game forever. Was the most feared player the entire regular season, always seemed to make the right play. A lot of times he was so dominant, didn't even need to play in the fourth quarter, but dominated in crunch time, averaged 50.4 points per 48 minutes in the final period, the highest since it was tracked in '96. Curry also made over 51% of his shots between 28 feet to half court, excelled offensively in every way. If he played like his typical regular season self in the finals, 2016 Steph might have had the greatest single season outside of Michael Jordan. Those were all the NBA MVP seasons since 2000. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe for more content. I love all of you. See you next time.